Welcome everybody to another goddamn horror podcast video void edition of Jonas and I. This is Graham. Jonas and I reviewing albums. Yeah, that's right. I'm Graham. I'm here in Flatbush, and yeah, we got Jonas. How's it going over there? And where are you?
I'm over in Bushwick.
Bushwick. I get that confused
Bushwick
with Bed-Stuy sometimes.
You know, funny enough, I'm actually like right on the border of basically Bed-Stuy and Bushwick, so it's whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm in the shadows right now. Like my lighting's all fucked up, but yeah, you know what? That's fine.
I like it. You also have a cool light up mic. So.
I do. Yeah. It's got like little fucking like Event Horizon lights going on.
Yeah. I like totally that a lot.
Yeah, this is our first album review. This is our first straight
up
official you and me album
talk
review.
About this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited. This will probably be a regular thing, because we love music. Ryan loves music too, but we were fighting about Jersey ant rock, drunk ant rock,
drunk New Jersey ant rock.
So he was like, maybe no discussions about music for the rest of the day. But yeah, we're going to talk about this really fucking cool album by the band We Are Magonia. They just released on November 18th, Triangle Unicode. They're from Lyon, France. Is it Lyon or Lions?
I think it's Lion. I think okay, it's. I think yeah. I don't think there's an S. I don't think it's plural Lions.
Right. But yeah, 3 members. They all have super cool names. Let's go over these actually.
All right.
Because Fear Collins.
Love that.
Frank Sinistra.
Love that
Sinister,
too.
Yeah. And Louis de Fineste. So I get
down with all these.
Frank Sinistra. I get that's Frank Sinatra.
But sinister.
Right, but more sinister. Less probably black eye. Red eyes, not old blue eyes.
Right.
What's Fear Collins? Is that like all I could think of was Collins?
No, it's Phil Collins.
Oh, Phil. Yeah. Phil and Fear. Okay, totally.
The fuck, man. Come on.
I know. Shit. I kind of like Genesis. And Louis de Fuentes. Funeste. You got that one?
Oh, what the fuck?
They all sound, and I should have had Phil Collins. Anyway, yeah.
If we think about that one, the third one's got me.
There's something there, but yeah. All right. So, but they're very cool. They're an instrumental rock band. They describe themselves as a computer-esque and dehumanized. They're basically like synthwave by metalheads, is what they said.
Which I dig.
Yeah, super dig. I usually don't lean towards in instrumentals as much as Jonas does, but I had so much fun listening to this album. I'll let Jonas sort of get into that, but
here's the thing. Here's the thing about their music, just kind of like as a heads up, like when it comes to their synthwave is huge. Like, so synthwave is one of those things that like it's a very, very wide genre of music, of electronic music. And when it came back, when it started to be like a thing that came back into the musical lexicon, it started to expand into subgenres. So you have synthwave, you have dark synth, you have.
Is that what this is?
This would I would consider this dark synth
wave or dark synth.
Yeah, dark synth wave. And like there's actually there's like a whole subculture within the synthwave music genre.
Cool.
Of people that just do these like dark synth shows. And in Brooklyn specifically, St. Vitus has those all the time. Actually.
I see those.
It's night
advertised all the time.
Dot wave. It's always like night.wav.
So is it like a rave kind of?
Sort of. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain it because it's not necessarily a rave. Like when you think rave, you think like ecstasy, club kids, warehouse, like
neon, glow sticks.
And it's not that per se. What it is it's a bunch of goths and a bunch of like fucking like leathered out like I guess like you would call them goth club kids almost, except the age range is all over the place. So you have people that are in their 20s, people that are in their 40s, people that are, like, and even older that will go to these shows, and you'll have the DJ on stage, you'll have the lights, you'll have the fog, you'll have the whole fucking ambiance. And it's like, it's music to do drugs to, but it's like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things.
I do.
Yeah. Like if I was
actually going to light a joint.
Yeah. If I was still doing drugs, like I would immediately go to these shows and I would take all the fucking Molly. Like just there.
Yeah. I think that's why I haven't been, because I guess I do like I've listened, like I like Carpenter Brute a lot. And stuff like that. I'm not what's the one that it is Carpenter Brute, I guess. So never mind. So I have like two bands I know, and this is one of them. We Are Magonia.
Yeah. And like honestly, so this is kind of funny because I had not really heard of them. Like I knew who they were, but I had not really heard much about them or much from them, because again, there's a lot of groups and bands and stuff that are within this whole subculture that are most of the time European.
Yep.
In some fashion.
They're from France. Yep. Right. And I know they've never even set foot on American soil.
Oh shit. Okay.
Apparently they don't play live very often. They didn't for a long time. And then when they started to, their shows are unreal. They take their scenography very, very seriously. Masks, outfits, everything. Apparently it's super, super cool and like an event to see.
So, and I've seen that with a lot of these like dark synth artists. And so you have artists like Carpenter Brute, you have Perturbator.
I always thought it was Perturbator, but
it might be that too. I don't know.
Everybody says it differently. Yeah. It's so weird.
But that's another one of the artists that's like really high in those. You have another one that I kind of stumbled on going through, like it was kind of one of those rabbit hole things where I went onto a streaming thing and I was just like, this person sounds like this artist and this artist sounds like this artist. And I got to Occam's Laser. So
that's a great name too.
Yeah. And Occam's Laser is this very dark, very like satanic, demonic looking, like culty type of imagery. And then the music is very similar to this in the sense that it's that dark, like cinematic almost, type of dark synthwave. And so those artists are almost always centered in the horror like genre as far as like their iconography goes and like everything.
I feel like it's what Cenobites listen to exclusively.
It feels very much like that. I feel like Cenobites are either listening to that or like the darkest industrial that you can find.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
like, but just so they're not posers, they hang out and like they have like Rammstein warehouse parties, but like they don't tell people, you know.
But so Triangle Unicode, which is a pretty cool name, honestly. I thought it was Unicorn at first, which was kind of mind-blowing, but Unicode is pretty cool.
I thought their actual name was We Are Magnolia at first, and I was like, oh
yeah. No. But I guess lockdown actually fucked them up really bad. I was reading about this where they couldn't get together to play and to write songs, which to me, as a synth band, didn't really seem to matter.
Sure.
When I first started thinking about it, I was like, well, there's no singer really. It's all computer stuff. They can send the files back and forth. But then I was thinking about it. Like when we do the podcast and stuff, like we generally talk different when we're off air or whatever, or when you and I meet up, like more gets ingrained. I don't know. It's just better to meet people in person, I guess. So I understood that. Like I know a lot of bands, like there's some members that live in Europe and the rest are in like LA or something.
Right.
And or Ohio. I don't know why I said Ohio. Like I hate it, but I'm
just like in fucking Ohio.
But so that was weird. But then I was like, I get that. And I guess, when they finally got back together, they started like kicking ass on this, but that was just a weird thing to me.
Well, I was jazzed when you sent it to me because like this type of music is the type of synthwave that I like. And so like there's, like I said, there's a bunch of groups. It's like you got Gunship, which is a huge one, and they're
a little like poppier.
They're a little poppier.
Yeah.
And then you have stuff like Kavinsky, and like you have all these things, and a lot of them are like when you look at something like Carpenter Brute, or you look at something like Occam's Laser, it has like almost a John Carpenter-esque vibe to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, which is where this comes into play too. And it's not by any means that it's like a copy of John Carpenter's sound.
No, it's influenced.
Yeah, it's definitely influenced by it. And here's the thing about this album: most of the time, when it comes to one of these dark synth albums, I would say that I usually like about 75% of the album, because there's usually kind of like one or two tracks that are kind of just like a transitional track where
they're
I'm just
lulls.
Like, yeah.
That's like, what I've come to, because I'm a big fan of lyrics and vocals. So when there's a lull in an instrumental, it feels more. But I think you're right.
You get like that soggy portion of it where you're just like, all right, I'm gonna fucking like get through this track so I can get to the next one. But this album didn't have that. Like it's straight up, it's just banger all the way through.
I remember here. Let me pull it up. There was a particular song. I think it was right after La Crypt, which is their single, which is fucking dope.
Yeah,
and the songs leading up to that on the album just kept getting me more excited, and I was like, oh, they're doing like pretty cool. I just love those little like bloop bleeps, but like catchy and hooky. I don't know. There's something, and when they're done right, they're so fucking good. Better than any guitar I've heard. But
yeah, when it comes to electronic music, there's like, you can do stuff that's like really, it sounds very contrived. Like it's, you can do that where it's like, it sounds like somebody's just like, oh my God, I got a keyboard, I got a soundboard, yay. Like they're not doing a whole lot. But then you have something like this album where with each one of these tracks, when you're going through them, you can hear, like, especially if you put on good headphones, like this is the type of music that audiophiles really fucking love. So if you're doing like really solid headphones, like some Audio Technicas or something like that, and like you're listening to what they're actually doing with the music, there's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
And all of it works. And like it means that these artists are legit composers. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like we wrote a song. Like they compose like actual fucking music here. And
which brings it to the whole, like, we couldn't do this if we weren't all together.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of
times, that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times when you look at these artists, maybe it has like a person like, Carpenter Brute, or, you have Occam's Laser, where it is just one dude, or just like one person that is behind a soundboard, or quote unquote on a laptop, which people shit on. But like, if you know how to make the music, doesn't matter what the actual tool is. Like,
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, that's such a weird thing for me. Like when everybody's saying, whenever somebody's just like, you use the laptop
that to record something.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Like, it sounds better than what you did.
Right. So that's what I like about this, because it's, like I said, it's multi-layered. It's got that horror feel to it. It feels cinematic. Like it straight up feels like it is a movie, which is great.
And I love that. And I love that about the dark synth, I guess, specifically, because I think it's true. Like Gunship and stuff, I remember started listening to Gunship when the Lost Boys saxophonist guy was on one of their songs.
It's called Darkest Days.
Yeah. And I was like, this is super fun. And then I kind of lost interest in them because it didn't pull me back. But then I found Carpenter Brute through Blood Machines.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I get this. This has like the Carpenter thing going. Like, I was like, this makes sense to me. And so this was just great. Like our buddy Char was like, hey, check this out, and sent it over, and holy shit, I was floored by like how big and encompassing it sounds, and it feels like you're moving with it. Like if you're just sitting, like I was just sitting on the couch listening to it with headphones, and it felt like I was like going through a tunnel of like weird neon gore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dope.
No, it's cool because it kind of like sometimes they'll do a video for these types of tracks and these types of albums and stuff where they'll do like a visualizer thing on YouTube where it's just like, you know, a bunch of fucking, it's like you microdose DMT. They're just like, here you go. Like, so this album was cool like that because you kind of just close your eyes and like sit back and like listen to it on some good fucking headphones, and it totally makes you feel like that. Like it totally makes you feel like you're going through kind of a dark, almost like a horror film. Like, so, yeah, as far as like a dark synth album goes, honestly, it's a 10 out of 10 for me because I was listening all the way through the album. Like every single track was hitting. And I've listened to it multiple times, which you only fucking turned me on to it. What, not long ago? Like it was a week ago?
Yeah. A week or two. Yeah. And I also, one thing I felt was cool because I locked in, I was like, okay, it's an instrumental, let's get into this. Then all of a sudden there was some vocals like halfway through the album. I was like, wait, what is going on?
What happened?
They're so like layered in there and you can't really, and so robotic sounding, and it sounded so cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of bands that I think, a couple of artists that I think stand out with this type of music. These ones, We Are Magonia, they're fucking right up there on the top now based off this album. I listened to their first two records too. This is their third album. And I listened to the others, and it's good. It's similar, but it didn't feel as like this felt like a next step, like a next level. Sure. Yeah, this
like they figured out something, or somebody, like, I don't know, something
clicked,
locked into something else.
Yeah,
and it fucking rips.
There's I would say like 4 groups that I would put in the same like category of how good this is them, obviously. Carpenter Brute, for like across the board, is pretty awesome. Occam's Laser has yet to have an album that I've been like about, and I've listened to his whole discography, and it's fantastic. And then Dance with the Dead. And Dance with the Dead kind of does a little bit of this mixed with a little bit of just straight up like 80s metal retrowave.
Right.
But then they have entire albums that sound like a Halloween soundtrack, you know, took fucking ecstasy. So it's just like, it's like, okay, so that type of thing. But again, they're also one of those artists where it's just like 2 people, guitar, laptop, drums, fucking go to town. Like, and again, it's one of those things where every album's been a banger, and this one, man, I'm really happy you turned me on to it, because now it's going to be one of the new ones in the rotation, and it's also going to be one that I go back to when I compare it to like other things, where I'll be like, it's good, but it's not We Are Magonia good. Like,
nice.
You know what I mean?
That's a great compliment. Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I love it. Well, that's fucking rad.
Yeah, man.
I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Listen, this is our first one. We just popped our review cherry, so, and then my cat just ran right through here too.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Man, it's an album. I would say, like I said, 10 out of 10 on this one for me.
10 Danzigs.
10 Danzigs out of 10. This is definitely
20 Danzigs in the room.
This is not only 10 Danzigs, this is 10 Lucifuge album Danzigs. So
that's the good stuff.
But yeah, it's really good, and I can't wait to hear more from him. I'm gonna go back and listen to the whole discography, because I've only listened to a little bit of the other stuff, but I'm gonna listen to the whole thing, because
it's cool.
I'm fully in for him. So
awesome. Well, thank you, Jonas, and thank you everybody for listening. And I don't know, we usually say Ryan has a goodbye and stuff, but
yeah, Ryan usually does that. Like, we are a little bit lost without Ryan. I'm going to be honest.
We did pretty good.
Good.
I'm happy with it. Yeah.
But he's usually the one that wraps it up.
We need our own outro. I have Remake Everything, and he has Break 5. So we should do like a music one.
You know what? I'm not good at catchphrases, because I'm anti-pun, which means that I'm anti-catchphrase. So like, I'm always like, every time I guess I am kind of too. Yeah, dude.
But I like the ones that piss people off.
Yeah. Every time a pun shows up, I'm just like, motherfucker. So I can't do it. But I think Start Some Fires and Break Some Glass, I feel like, is still appropriate for this.
Well, it's still good advice.
No, also I think it's appropriate for music, because if you're gonna like listen, I'm all about music that makes you want to start fires and break glass. So like
riot music. This is you'd have to like put on like face paint first for this riot, but
you would honestly,
but it would be a fun riot.
It would be a very fun riot. And I also think that I think it fits. So I think we totally can stick with start some fires and break some glass on this one.
All right, and hail Satan.
All right, hail Satan. All right, thanks guys.